Okay, welcome back to the fourth episode of Nerds with Grit Hockey Podcast. I said that right, Jahaz?
You did get that right this
Nerds
time.
with Grit. I will be your Grit, Big T. I got my nerds to my left. We're back in the basement, Josh's basement. It's good to be here. I'm not gonna lie, it was freezing. It's still freezing when I came in here. Aaron's got shorts and t-shirt. He's dressed appropriately for this beautiful early May day. It's been a while. How you guys doing, guys? I'm feeling better. I was down and out 11 days, right, Josh? Since we...
Something like that.
11 days. I was sick. I was coughing. I still got a little bit of a cough. Aaron, you're looking good in your shorts, though. Some good hair on your legs, too. I like that.
Thank you, yeah. It kind of goes to the inside joke before this in the test a little bit. Maybe not many chest hairs, but I got leg hairs going. But yeah, it's warm out there, so I didn't expect the AC to be like.
Josh, go ahead.
I didn't. I was gonna turn it into the Utah thing, where not that we're starting with that, but
we're gonna
Utah with like 5 different things related to ice as their team name. So.
Nice. We're gonna end with that. We're gonna have a good laugh with it, and I'm gonna force all of us to pick one of the 20 names released. TSN released 20 names that was apparently released by the team.
They were. You could vote on them. I voted on them.
Yeah, I'm sure you nerds did. I just sat back and made fun of them. I didn't go out of my way to vote on them.
Most of them were not good.
But on Josh right now, he is sporting a Mike Modano Minnesota North Stars jersey. It's fresh, it's sweet, it's green and yellow and white. And look at this bandana he's got as well. You look like Greg. You got some serious Grit game going on. Of course, we don't have video, but just picture Josh.
Just to take our word for it.
Yeah, he looks like a hockey lion from Minnesota.
Hockey lion. I like that. That's a good term.
It's good to be back. I mean, you can still hear it in my voice, so I'm still hacking away. I was sick, and it sucked. I kind of went through my family, and you guys are almost going to go and do it yourself as well, too, just straight up nerds, no grit.
Nerds, no grit. Would have been interesting.
Cool that I said just, get super analytical on these first rounds, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to quickly go through the first round.
I want to take over for a second here. So yeah, with the nerds no grit, that totally is what we would have called it for an episode.
Absolutely.
But no grit. I just think it's convenient timing, or whatever it is. He says it ran through his family. I don't know if your entire family's Leaf fans, but conveniently at the same time that you got sick, the Leafs lost
the
again.
Night before.
To the Boston Bruins in Game 7 overtime.
I was at my friend's house. We ordered pizza. It was awesome. The Leafs lost. I lost money on it as well too, and I was upset. Went home. Kind of had a little coffee thing going on. Got up and then went out for the day. Came back and I was sick. I was straight up. Whatever. No one's worried about. I wasn't very gritty. I was actually very wimpy. At one point, my little daughter was taking care of me on the couch, putting a cold blanket on my forehead and stuff like that. But no more of that. I'm still sick. You can hear it in my voice.
I'm honestly kind of glad that you can hear it a little bit, because otherwise I would have been way more suspicious. Because very convenient that it was the day after they lost. It's I can't do it.
Okay, round 1, I have it on here undivided quick. Obviously, we know the Kings made quick work of the Islanders. Florida was dominated by Florida, just made quick work of Tampa Bay. We didn't really see that coming. We kind of thought that was going 6 or 7-ish, or maybe I did. I see in you guys' face, but Florida they're certainly a powerhouse. You want to stop on that, or?
I mean, I will say that all of us, I think, agreed that it was going to probably be a longer series. I think we expected Tampa to go longer.
You thought it was Tampa. We thought it was Florida, but I think we all kind of thought it would go 6 or 7.
I think we're also maybe we're maybe slightly not surprised that Florida took care of business with Tampa. Tampa didn't have just enough depth, so it's not,
from his depth, right?
He was 50% of their scoring, right? So
Was it really?
Well, in the season, in the regular season,
Oh,
pretty much. So,
okay. Then we go into Avs and Winnipeg. We're jumping into the West. Of course, we don't even mention the other team, the Rangers squashed. Avalanche, I want to talk about them later. They made quick work after losing the first game, beating the Jets 4-1 after that crazy 7-6 loss in the first game. Canucks, we're definitely going to get to them as well, too. Predators were able to grab a couple games. Anyone who said, respectively, that's going to 6, they were absolutely right. And then the Oilers, for the third time in a row, squashed the Kings. Going to jump back to the East. Are you guys ready for it? I'm ready for it. I'm ready to talk about, but I don't want to talk about Marner and all that weird stuff. I just want to know your thoughts overall of the series. Then we're going to get into Keith getting dumped as well too. But there's some good hockey points I want to make. But Aaron, your takeaway from the Leafs in Boston, because you were kind of saying that you thought the whole time the Leafs were going to win. If you're making me feel good, Josh, on the other hand, we wrote for
Ended up being right,
and he's pump fisting. When Boston scores, I was ready to throw my hands on
winning team.
yeah, I mean, I did think that Toronto had it in them. I mean, I think I should probably apologize for underestimating Boston. I think they're a team that, as Bergeron and that last part of the core moved on, they still have a lot of pieces that they've obviously added in recent years. Lindholm was huge that game. He's a guy that, I mean, Toronto could sure use a guy like him. I think McCabe's like similar, but, you know, Lindholm might have a bit more skating and offense to his game from the back end. But yeah, he had like a not as crazy year as they had the year before, but Lindholm really came big in the Game 7 for them. That was a really nice set play that they had on the game winner. So, Mr. North Star.
What do you think, Josh? Pump fisting the Bruins guy over there. That was unbelievable.
Oh yeah, you know what? The Leafs actually they played a good series in the last 3 games there. They played well in Game 5, they played well in Game 6. They played very well in Game 7. They unfortunately got burned by Samsonov, who did actually have a good game in Game 7, I thought. But the game tying goal that happened less than 90 seconds after they take the lead in the third period, Samsonov lets in just a terrible goal to let in that moment. Bruins take tie the game, take the momentum right back, and Pasta, after getting called out by his coach in Game 6, delivers with a beauty of a goal.
Yeah, you know what? Were you pump fisting when that happened?
Yes, I was very excited.
Yeah,
I was very excited to. I know I was saying, or I think in the last episode, I said that the Bruins would win it in Game 5 or maybe Game 6, but I was also half joking with, I think the Leafs are going to battle back and force Game 7 and then take a lead into the third period in Boston and lose. I mean, I'll end up being right about that again, but that keeps happening, so I guess it's not that hard to predict.
So we're both nerds here, Josh. In your honest thoughts, if Wool is healthy for Game 7, are they able to squeak out the win there?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I like that you guys are acknowledging they're nerds. I honestly, when Samsonov played well, he played very good enough to give his team a chance to win. That's all you can ask for in Game 7, or you can ask for a shutout. And if you get a shutout, obviously that's a guaranteed victory. He had 32 shots. He made 30 saves. At one point, he was getting well more tested than Swayman did. So I want to just kind of go through like a series. I'm going to take a couple minutes here to unpack that Game 7, because anything else in the series for me is kind of like, it's not irrelevant, but it's like, it doesn't even matter at this point. I always say, no matter what, if you get to Game 7, it's anybody's game. You and I too, guys, could go out for a shift and somehow like have like a weird slap shot go off the back of your ankle, Josh, because you're just out front somehow. And that's the game. Like, as long as you're in Game 7 is my point, you have a chance to win the hockey game. And of course, it was scoreless. And then the Leafs in the third, a nice goal, a beautiful effort, makes it 1-0. You're just like, okay. But obviously you're not out of the water. For me, the ability for Boston to score instantly right after was less than 2 minutes was just absolutely huge momentum because it changed the Leafs' entire game. Did you guys see what they were doing? Like, anytime they got the puck in their own zone, they were just flicking it out. Like, they completely turned into like almost like a house league team mentality, or a team that's up by like 2 or 3 goals with 2 minutes left in the Stanley Cup Finals. They were just flicking everything. They had 0 zone exits, and all of a sudden then it turned over into the neutral zone. Then they get to the neutral zone, they're dumping pucks in, and Boston, right after they made it 1-1, completely dominated the rest of that hockey game, and Toronto just looked like they were completely under siege and just emotionally distraught. Now I want to get back to the girl to make it 1-1. You know, I was getting on that guy on Facebook. For anyone that's seen that write-up on Facebook, Kemp there, honestly, you have to block that shot. We've seen so much. Guys like Brock Besser, I'm so proud of him, jumping in front of these pucks. And David Kemp made a conscious decision to not step in the shooting lane. Morgan Riley, I have it all on Facebook. I broke it down. I was even circling people like Howie Meeker, if you guys remember that guy way back in the day. Anyways, the back post left was taken away by Riley. We had a good double team out front, and there was a stick-on-stick backdoor battle happening. And Camp literally pulled up and made the most ridiculous attempt to block the shot. For me, that was like the TSN turning point of Game 7. Toronto never got back on their feet with the puck, back on their feet in their own zone. And then back to that play in overtime, set play, beautiful. That's the kind of stuff that you just like, no, you see past even dump it off to the guy and goes right around the horn. Yeah, I was pissed off at Martyr because Martyr came off of him in front of him on the bench, like 4 or 5 strides ahead of him. Pastor just skated right behind him. Beautiful set play. The announcer was even talking about how lively the boards were that whole series in Boston. And of course, Samsonov should have made a play on it. Like, he just should have made a play on that. He could have came out and just even punched it, pushed it, stopped it right back into the corners, and just lived to die another day. That was a long rant, but that was exactly how I envisioned unpacking it. And for me, that was kind of shores up. Once again, Toronto did not put themselves in the position mentally and physically to win that series. And why not lose it to the big bad Bruins? Remember, Bruins came out and whipped ass, too, in the first game as well, too. Now Florida returned the favor to them as well, too, and lost 6-1. The Bruins did in Game 2, but that's going to be a heck of a series. Anything else you guys want to talk about in that series quickly? Because I want to quickly get to Keith. He got bounced out of town. That was an obvious decision for me. I never knew it was happening. Like you said, Josh, before we went on, you're like, I was like, when he sent out that nice video, he was like on a lake somewhere. It was like he already had his bags packed. He knew, just get him in cottage shows.
100%. But no, I think with the Leaf series there, they did not they played some tight games, but when you go 1 for 21 in a 7-game series on the power play, that is not good enough. They scored 3 goals in game. Was it game 3? It was game 2. Sorry, game 2. Which they won. Every other game they scored 2 or 1 goals. I think that's I believe that's 14 games like in a row now where they've scored 3 goals or less, and in only one of them it was 3. All the others have been 2 or less.
The last 3 games were 2-1. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but there's not scoring enough goals for a team that's built on its offense. They have nearly $40 million invested in 4 forwards.
Yep.
And you're struggling to score in the playoffs. That is not a good look.
Traditionally in betting, like 6.5 is like where the over is. Usually it's either 6.5 or 5.5. It's at 6.5 every single one of the games, a 7-1 went under.
Oh yeah, that's easy money right there. You just bet on the Leaf not to hit the over.
Not to score goals.
Exactly. Yeah. You see the Leafs are playing in the postseason game, hammer the under.
You ready to get on to Keith? You got anything else to add there, Aaron?
I'll say that you guys both made totally accurate points. I love your, I love what you brought up about the power play there, Josh. I mean, that's obviously just like for a team that goes from top 5 power play in the league and then all of a sudden completely quiet. And I mean, it's just even how they are like looking when they're on the power play. Like you watch a team like the Rangers, we have that game on right now, and they're always moving. Edmonton, obviously, with their really deadly power play. I mean, McDavid's a huge threat, so he generally has the puck. He's always moving. Like standing still in the same spot and just being like really predictable is really easy to defend a lot of times when it's the power play. You have an extra man. I kind of want to see when me personally in a power play, unless there's some reason that you should be standing like you're Ovechkin, you can just fire it through guys. Like you should be moving, you should be attacking the net. And even like the subtle fakes that, you know, the elite defensemen do nowadays, whether it's on entries or when you're in the zone, making fakes to shoot, because that could open up a lane for a pass anywhere else. So that's kind of getting a bit more analyzing how the Leafs looked on their power play, because it just looked like the same time. Like Leafs fans, I saw comments of it's like, well, I'm just ready to go to the washroom because the Leafs just got a power play and they're not going to do anything here. So
yeah, it looks stagnant and it looks stale. And you talk about some of these elite power plays. Obviously, Edmonton can do anything they want on the power play right now. It's unbelievable. And we're watching the Rangers power play right now, as you just mentioned. They're down 1-0 in Game 3, a must-win for the Canes and Rod Brind'Amour for sure. I just want to close up the stats as far as Keith. His regular season record, 212 wins, 97 losses, and 40 ties. Playoffs, overtime losses, sorry. Playoffs, 16-21. That's just not going to get. Listen to this, though. Regular season average goals for 3.55. In the postseason, Josh, just give me a guess.
Postseason, I'm going to go with 1.85.
Come on, that's rude. It's 2.62.
Yeah, I was going to guess. I was going to guess probably like the 2.2 roll.
I didn't think it's a very valid.
That's on your power play point, though. 25% regular power play. That's healthy. That's every 4 times you're getting the average 4 penalty power play opportunities a game, you're going to score once. The Leafs power play have been up there in the top 5 pretty much the whole time Keith has been there. Obviously, he's not out there zinging those one-timers, but in the playoffs, 15.4%. And, like, that is, you know...
It was a lot less.
They would have taken 15% in this year.
And you know what? I will say, I never loved him. I never hated them, but I am super ready for him to move on. And he'll probably will find work somewhere else pretty quick.
Say hello to the future coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah. Go see Daddy Dubas.
100%.
You know what, though? There's one thing, though, I'm not going to miss, like his face. Like, he's just got those, like, almost fish lips where he's just yelling at the referee so much. Man, there's some guys that know how to yell at the referees and some that don't. And I think he did, but I'm not going to miss that. And you know what? I don't think the players are going to miss him either. I really don't. I think they're all ready to hit the reset button. Because I don't think the 4 core is going anywhere. I'm not opening up that can of worms. The Leafs are out. I feel like that's the cherry on top with Keith is the first to go. And if there's more, we'll be talking about it.
To reassure everyone listening here, we are definitely going to bring up the Core 4 talks.
Oh, 100%. I'm going
for the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, after the playoffs are done, there's more important
Let's
stuff.
keep moving on.
Well, I would like one thing there. I would just on Keith there. I think it's like I agree he should have been fired. I think that is the right decision for their organization. It is very amusing to me that how many regular season wins do you have? Like 200 and something?
212.
That, like, he had less than 100 regular season losses. Regulation losses. He had less than 100 regulation losses in over 300 games. That's excellent. And he got fired.
That just means it's not.
It's just because it's not working in the playoffs.
It's not working.
No,
he's going to be
not working where it matters.
He's going to be the first ball to be shot.
I think he is a good coach, and I think there are a lot of comments, I won't get into it too much about that I didn't like, but I think he knew what was wrong with this Leafs team, and I don't know if the Leafs themselves were, this was the closest they've been in terms of how they probably want to look moving forward. But whether it's the player personnel or, whatever it looks like, it's, like you guys said, it's time for a change, and so we'll see who they end up hiring in the next couple days. We'll probably talk about that next week.
The only other series to go to Game 7, Dallas, Vegas. I don't want to hang here too long, but I got some fun stats here for our boy, all right? Rope Heinitz, how do you say it, honestly? I'm not joking.
Again.
Rupe I was going to say Heinitz. It's just ingrained in my brain now.
I know his. Rupe Hintz?
Rupe
Hintz, okay?
You're
This
Canadian.
loser has 1 goal in the 7 games, okay? You guys are going all about like, oh, yeah, you need to know who this guy is. And even a couple of my buddies texted me, kind of chirping me and laughing about, never mind Rupe, okay? And how about Ryan Johnson, a real Canadian boy, okay?
I said was Dallas's best forward.
4 goals, 2 assists in the 7-game series. He's already sniped Gino in the 1 game against Colorado. This guy is a beast, and he's like super, super young. He's like already probably replaced like someone like Sagan status on that team, or like going to be first to group of the boards if they're down by a goal with a minute left. Like,
Yep.
he is awesome, and he's going to be awesome for a while. But this Hintz guy is to be determined. Like I said before, I guess he's good, or he's good, I guess.
His team's in the second round, so
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a two-way center. Vegas has a lot of guys that, we could probably bring up their lineups and see which guys were and which guys weren't scoring. I'm not concerned about Hintz. Like I said, he led their team in playoff points last year. 1 goal, you said? Did you see how many points he got? What was he for points?
He's got 1 goal. That's it. 0 assists.
No assists?
In 7 games.
Then I guess he was shut down by that A. Hill guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is
for
moving
2
on to the
games.
second round. He's going to have a chance, to snag a lot more points. That's for sure. Did you guys watch that Game 7? I did. I actually watched the whole
Saw the end
thing.
of it, yeah.
It was like full-on beast mode, and it came right down to the wire, too, like another 1-goal game solving that series. It was impressive. It was just as good. Certainly had more goals as well, too. Well, sorry, not than the Leaf game, but it certainly, for me, it had more scoring chances, I should say, like prime scoring chances.
Yeah, it seemed like an exciting game.
It really, really was, too. A really good goaltender battle as well. 43 shots to 24. Vegas kind of put it on really hard at the end, but once again, though, Dallas was just jumping in front of everything, and Jake Odger kind of just like really just earning his stripes, right? A 22 save performance. The guy has been solid, and I just look to see what he can do in the second round. He's going to have surely a tough task at him as well, too, with the Avs.
Well, I mean, when you have defensive specialists, first fan of helping out on the back end there, it certainly helps. Canada's been, I think, one of the best defensemen, I think, stats-wise, in the playoffs this year.
I read a stat earlier that against Vegas, when he was up against, their top guys, even strength, well, I mean, not that he would necessarily be on the power play, right?
Yeah.
But, even strength, 5-0 were the goals when Tannen's on the ice. So he was
It's impressive.
still elite at, the ripe age of 34, I think, right now. So
I think he's
Jake,
mid-30s.
thanks. I'm ready to jump right into Dallas's opponent in the second round. We're kind of put that first round behind us. All the anti-Leaf people are like perfect, and a lot of the hockey people out there listening as well too. Like, okay, let's get just some real meat and potatoes, some real teams that have a real chance of winning the Stanley Cup.
I do want to give you credit, Tyler, because I ended up going into Josh's point. Not for too long, but I think that you basically hit every point, like your camp point on the block shot, the goaltending, the different plays breaking down Marner and Riley and Sam Staub. I think you hit all of it.
Dog too, man. Like
He played well.
Man. He played well.
His system on our own.
I don't he obviously played hard. But,
I mean,
there's no way he was 100%.
No, of course not. I don't think anyone's debating that.
I don't want to get back to them though.
No,
sure you should just shore that up one more time. But I got this question written down here on my podcast notes. Avs, they're the team to fear in the West, right? Question mark?
I would say so.
I agree. After the Winnipeg first game, and then the second game, and Colorado had beaten them pretty handily in that second game, and then they just took over from there, and I'm like, I have made a mistake by picking Winnipeg over them.
Yep.
And I realized that pretty quick, and I have Colorado beating Dallas in this other pool that my buddy's dad made, where you kind of pick as the series are going on, and you get points for how many wins that team gets. And I think Colorado, I think what I like about Colorado, obviously they have the Makars and the McKinnons, and you guys can definitely get into those guys because I think they're fantastic. Some of my favorite players, but I think they did add some of the right pieces to shore up their depth. Obviously, we talked earlier, I think we touched on the Bowen Byram trade for Casey Middlestat. I think Middlestat, for what they need and moving forward at his age, I think he's developed into a very nice second-line center from Buffalo to Colorado now. And then even the little deadline moves like Brandon Duheim and Yakov Trenin from Nashville, I think they made the right moves depth-wise to shore up down the middle. And those guys help on their penalty kill. They help with their speed and their physicality. And that's exactly what Colorado did when they won their first cup. Was they weren't necessarily these massive heavyweights with, like Vegas and St. Louis and like just big bodies. And they have big bodies on their team. But like McKinnon's a beast, obviously, and Makar is no slouch. He throws his weight around, but they have a heavy, fast forecheck. They are very quick. They're right on top of you. So, I mean, Colorado, for me, is out of the West. I agree. I think they're the team to beat because McKinnon, it seems like one of those years where a McDavid, a McKinnon, maybe a Shesterkin, it's going to be a top team, and one of their guys is just going to will that team to win. And it feels like Makar and McKinnon are doing what they did, a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, I agree with basically everything.
I was pointing at you, boy.
I know, but he's hitting the nail on the head there. Like Colorado's been fantastic. I think I still have Dallas going to the Cup final, so I stand by my pick on that. But I'm feeling a lot less confident in it now, especially because I had the Jets beating Colorado in the first round. And
you did?
Yeah,
Damn. What do you mean?
I did too.
No,
I just said that I had done that too.
The Jets beat them in the season series. They had just beaten them 7-0. They were 8-2 heading into the playoffs. I think Colorado had the worst record in their last 10 games out of all the playoff teams.
Colorado's just one of those teams
And
that have proven now that they're just no matter what the heck there was going on and what they're doing, they just got so much ammo, and they got big guns to fire that ammo. Back to this Middlestat guy, too, man. He's the man. He's a young dude. He's a Minnesota boy, Josh, making your jersey proud. He's only 25 years old. And I'm just looking at his playoff stats as well, too. He's got 1 snipe and 5 apples as well, too. He didn't find a point in game 1 that started against Dallas, but 5 apples in the Winnipeg series, and he sniped in game 1 as well, too. It seemed like everybody was sniping in game 1. But he is the man. He is a bona fide top 6 forward from the, no doubt about it. And, man, they're just guys like Nichushkin and Nichushkin or whatever you want to call it, and Rantanen. These guys are just they're not in the background, but they're in those 7-passenger minivans. If Makar McKinnon's driving, Makar's in the passenger, he's driving shotgun. They're the guys in the middle seats.
Yeah, they're all going to visit Gabriel Landeskog at the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. In the hospital and something weird like that in his rehab session. And obviously Middlestat's a guy just sitting comfortably in the back. And this Lehkonen guy as well too, man. That guy is a big, strong dude, man.
He's really fast. Another part of their forecheck.
He's not. When I say big, okay, maybe not big, but he's strong. He's 5'11". He's not that big, but he is honestly a fast skater.
He plays big.
Yeah, Dallas played big, and I really like their D, and especially when you got a guy like Josh Manson's like your fifth-ish defenseman, fourth defenseman.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Help me out with that. Yeah, like I like that guy. And the scary thing is I talk about like these guys are going to be good for a while. So talking about current, to show up my question, are the Avs the team to fear the most in the West? I say yes.
Yeah.
Josh, you said yes, but you also got Dallas.
I still have Dallas. Yeah, I do, but I still think.
I want to know right now. I'm holding a gun and like office style. I'm pointing my gun at you with my 3 fingers, 2 fingers and a thumb.
And you have
Colorado or
to
Dallas?
I have a chance to change.
If you want
Dallas.
No, I'm sticking Dallas.
And I will say respect to that, because I mean, even with the Vegas Dallas, I was like, even when they were down, I was like, I'll stay on the Vegas pick. Carolina, they're down 2-0. I still would have them winning the series because I just believe in them. They were my cup picks, right? And if you had Dallas, did you say you had Dallas as your cup?
I have Dallas going to the finals.
Okay, so you have a chance to cut.
Don't make me pull this finger gun on you.
I know. I think, you know what?
I'm willing to bet you.
Dallas is also an excellent team. Don't get me wrong. Colorado is fantastic.
Colorado was down 3 goals and came back and won the league.
That's really good for them. I'm a little surprised
weird
about
on that too.
But no, I think you're forgetting that Dallas is also an excellent team. They won their division for a reason. It's not like they're just some slouch of a team that lucked its way into the playoffs and barely skated.
Fantasy team, you want Rupi Heinitz or Middlestat?
I'm taking Middlestat because Rupi Heinitz is not an actual player. It's Rupe Hintz.
Wow, whatever. Last week Middlestat.
I would take Hintz though.
Yes, I would also take.
I love Middlestat. Middlestat's had a great season, but before this, he's been okay.
We got to keep on trekking. We got to keep on trekking for the right reasons. Boston, Florida, both teams blew each other out in their first games, 1-1. They were fighting. I'm gonna let you guys talk, and I'm gonna go look at this Pasternak fight, and then I will come back. Hope you guys can't hear me coughing as well. Jim's still fighting that cough going on.
If you can, we apologize.
I want Josh. You are representing Florida, and Aaron, you're representing Boston. Okay, Aaron, you get to go first. I'm gonna go watch the fight. Yeah,
okay.
I'm watching the fight.
Okay.
I'm watching the fight.
So
I'm not going to wrap Josh up with a Boston.
I already did that last year.
originally, before this had started, in our group chat, Tyler had said, go back to the last series. We didn't have a lot of time. He told us like a couple hours before.
Yep.
Get the stats, guys. People want the stats. They want the stats. Give it the nerdy stats.
We want the nerdo stuff.
So I decided to go back and look at the roster of Boston last year, and I want to remind people that if you think that this is the same Boston team, it's not. So, and I'm going to go by points based on last year. They most of these guys played 7 games because they went to a 7-game series. They ultimately blew a 3-1 series lead to the Panthers last year, and Panthers went all the way to the finals and lost to Vegas. But Boston, their leading point getter was current Toronto Maple Leaf forward Tyler Bertuzzi with 10 points in 7 games. This guy's checking out the.
Oh, I'm watching the phone.
I wanted you to have a reaction to the.
I'm still listening. I'm watching the fight.
I think the viewers are also hearing the. You should turn that down.
I want to see past the fight.
All right, so after Bertuzzi with 10 points, tied with him, Marchand 10 points in 7 games. Then so Bertuzzi not there. Third in points, tied for second, third. Taylor Hall, 8 points, not there. Dmitry Orlov, 8 points in 7 games, led the team's defense in points, not there, currently on Carolina. Jake DeBrusk is still there, 6 points in 7 games. Pavel Zacha, 6 points in 7 games. Pasta, 5 goals, no assists in 7 games. McAvoy, 5 points in 7 games. Krejci, 4 points in 4 games, not there. Brendan Carlo, 4 points in 7 games, he's there. Nick Foligno, basically the captain of the Blackhawks. Technically he's not, but he's the big leader there. 3.6 games. So he's not there. Charlie Coyle, who is one of their top 2 centers, which is part of the reason why I've always underrated this Boston team right now. 2 points in 7 games last year in the playoffs. also tied with 2 points with him. Thomas Nosek. Does anyone know where Thomas Nosek is right now?
Oh,
not in Boston.
That's a very good trivia question.
AHL or something?
No. He's playing in the NHL. Thomas Nosek.
See if you know this one, Josh.
It's Eastern, right? He's still in the East.
Yep.
Okay.
Josh getting nerdy.
No, yeah, I'm thinking Thomas Nosek. Okay.
Doing the Marchand.
Yeah, I know.
Hunting you.
Is it Metro or
Licking the mic?
No. I'm just going like this to do.
I was thinking it was Detroit, but now if it's
Well, you got the right colors.
Oh God, is it? Oh God, is it the Devils?
Yeah, it is the Devils. Thomas Nosek is on the. I don't know how many games he's played, but he is under contract with the New Jersey Devils. We spend too much time on him.
That's true.
Right below him in points, but that's only because he played 3 games in the series. Patrice Bergeron, 1 goal for the 1 point in 3 games. And I know we're saying he doesn't play there right now, but it doesn't matter. He was irrelevant. -6 in 3 games. Obviously, he was washed. I mean that very sarcastically. Garnett Hathaway, 7 games, 1 point not there.
Flames legend.
Lauko, yeah, Hathaway's great. Lauko, Forbert, Grzelcyk, all there. Connor Clifton, Buffalo, Lindholm, he's there. He had 0 points in 7 games last year.
Ooh.
That's a little bit notable that he had 0 points against Florida. And then Frederick, who's been a big part of their run so far, is 0 points in 5 games. He didn't even play every game. So my point is, it was like 12 skaters that were on the roster that are on this current team. So a lot of turnover from this Boston team. Now, Boston, the way that their team is and the way that they play, they have this culture there that they've built since the days of Bergeron, obviously Chara. And so with that, and the way that they are so attuned to their systems, and Marchand being the captain there, probably leading a lot of the guys, the new guys that get there. Guys like Morgan Geekie, great ad. Danton Heidenen's been in Boston before. This team plays to a system. That's why they've been so successful as a team. But this is not obviously the same 60-win team, a 65-win team or so, that lost to Florida in 7 games last year, blowing the lead. This team on paper is a lot less than that team was. That's why even after game 1, it was like Florida's going to come back. I didn't expect them to blow them away 6-1, but I'm not surprised. Florida's probably got this in, 6, I'd say.
What you're saying is they're not as good as last year's team, obviously, even though they lost. But they almost lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs in 7 games. I
thought Toronto was the better team.
On paper, Toronto was.
Listen, well, that is a thing. Yes, I'm glad we can all admit that, even if you hate the Leafs or not. That's a thing for sure. I mean, Matthews put in 69 goals. But first of all, I do like Boston's coach. There's something about him, his demeanor. I've seen a lot of in the dressing room talks that sometimes sneak onto social media. I like the way he talks, like the way he addresses the team. Now, I just watched that Tkachuk-Pasternak fight. I honestly was smiling because it was just like, gave me a little bit more satisfaction of Pasternak getting thrown around and beat up a little bit, punched in the face. One time, Tkachuk got him good one time. It just makes me feel a little bit better knowing he snuck that one on the Leafs in overtime in Game 7. But that is going to be a heck of a series. Josh, did you even get a chance to rebuttal there on your flip?
Not really, but like...
Let's get them into Florida.
Really nerdy. I'm just watching this Pasternak fight. That's going to be a heck of a series.
I like that fight, too. They talked about it before they fought. They were like, you want to go? And he's like, yeah. And there's for you can see Pasta go to Jim Montgomery and go, I want to fight Tkachuk.
And
Montgomery's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's great.
yeah.
I love that. But
that makes me like Boston's coach even more.
Jim Montgomery's the best. I love Jim Montgomery.
Where did he come from?
He was Dallas' coach for a while, but then
their head coach?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. But then he took a step back there. He went to rehab, I think, for
drugs?
I don't know. I think it was some alcohol thing. He was out of hockey for a few years, but he's worked his way back, and he's the head coach of the Bruins now. And
the guy
he's a great story. He's a great coach.
Looks like a hockey coach. He's like bald, and he's tough, well
He looks like a Bruins coach.
he looks like a Bruins coach.
You want to know a fun fact about Jim Montgomery? He was signed by the Flyers around the 94-95 season. And he is actually, because we talked about Flyers when we had that Rod the Bod and Patrick Waugh fight a couple uppies back. And he is actually credited with nicknaming the dominant line of Leclerc, Lindros, and Renberg.
He came up with the nickname.
This is a guy who played 8 games for Philadelphia that year. 2 point. That's wild. He nicknamed.
So that is the most famous thing about his playing career is he named the Legion of Doom. That's awesome. Let's get over there. Let's get over to Boston and Florida. I hope they fight more.
He didn't even talk about Florida.
I want to be very brief. I know I want to keep the episode shorter. Florida, Florida's my cup pick. They've been fantastic. Both Tkachuk and Barkov, 4 goals, 6 assists in 7 games. Verhaeghe with 5 goals, 4 assists. Their top end talent is producing. Brandon Montour with 2 goals, 4 assists. Fantastic for him there. I think they're probably gonna win this series. The only thing I can see them losing is Bob, who hasn't been bad, but you just look at the stat and the numbers on it. He's 893 save percentage so far this postseason. I think he's been fine. I think Florida is outscoring a lot of their problems, which helps. Swayman's got like a 948 save percentage, I believe, right now.
Ridiculous, yeah.
So if
I agree with you there.
Then Swayman could steal this series, but I don't think that's happening. That's
the part where I could see it going to 7 is exactly what you're saying there, Josh. Is the goaltending. I think Swayman has obviously shown that he is on another level right now. He didn't have a great game, and I'm hoping that Montgomery doesn't go to Ullmark because of that. Because if you lose 6-1, it's not just a goalie problem. I'm sorry, it's a team problem that got out of hand, especially when the fights and stuff were happening. So Boston comes back. They're going back to Boston. If they can get a win there, maybe 2. They probably not 2, but if they get a win there, this will be a tight series. It could be a tight series.
It's going to be a tight series. This is going 6 or 7 for sure.
And not 7 for sure, but maybe 7. And it would be because of Swayman. It's the Florida series to lose.
Canes and Rangers, it's on the TV right now. It's a Thursday night. It's 1-1 in the game, 2-0 in the series. Once again, Shesterkin looks like he's going to get 50 shots-ish. Again, there's 37 shots with 2 minutes left to go.
It's like a full game total.
Yeah, seriously. So 76 saves Shesterkin has made in the first 2 games that he backstopped a victory. The second one went to double overtime. It was pretty cool seeing his reaction as well, too. He shot out of that net so hard. Is anybody going to contest me with me saying that just right now I do think he's the best goalie in the world? Is anyone going to outright contend me on that? Because I want to talk about Canes flipping the script as well as going with this Kochenkov. How do you spell that? How do you say that?
Kochenkov.
That big 30 starts in the NHL, 23, 13, and 4 with a respectable save percentage of .911. But back to Shesterkin. Seriously, though, is there anyone that's better than him right now in the world at playing hockey goalie?
At this exact moment in the playoffs right now, he might be at the top of his game, which we know Shesterkin's capable of. Coming into the playoffs, I would not have said he was the top goalie coming in.
No, I know, but my question is right now, I've even watched him make 3 or 4 brilliant saves, and his rebound control, he's just swallowing pucks, and seems like he's very comfortable playing the puck. He's very active, and his body language is he's tapping shin pads after big saves, letting his defensive guys know, letting me see it. And the Rangers are a good hockey team right now. If the Rangers play the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference, look out.
That would be a heavyweight.
If Canes somehow play Boston, look out. They kind of the same situation. I know, but it could be. I mean, you're saying it won't be, and I agree with that. That's like getting 2 perfect coin flips in a row. Oh, my point is these are kind of like 2 different teams, and they're both like playing against the 2 different teams, right? You know what I mean? Like I would say like Carolina's more like Boston, and the Rangers are more like Florida. And and either way, these 4 teams are playing really, really good hockey representing the East. This second period's going to end up over here with a 1-1 tie. But quick little rip through, is there anywhere Carolina, first of all, wins this game tonight, but is there anywhere they come back and make a good push into the series? They have to win here tonight.
I think so.
I think they can do it. I think as long as they stay out of the box against the Rangers, they stand a pretty solid chance. We saw there in, I think it was game 1, the Rangers had 2 power play goals in the first, and it took them a combined total of like 36 seconds to score both of them. Well, wouldn't that be nice for some other teams? Geez, so I couldn't help myself. Another jab on the Leafs.
Wow.
But no, I think the Hurricanes are a very solid team as well. Just tons of depth. I mean, Jade Gensel punched Adam Fox in the face in one of the first games. And as a Flames, yes. And as a Flames fan, I respect the hell out of Jade Gensel for that. Like, I hate Adam Fox and
I mean, yeah, it is disappointing when the greatest selection in Calgary Flames history of a draft pick is a franchise right shot defenseman that just refused to play for you guys.
That one, I would argue that their greatest pick was Boudreau.
Really? The guy that just took off? Is it not Jerome?
He was drafted by Dallas?
Yeah, he's not a Calgary pick.
Jerome McGinley was drafted by Dallas.
And he was traded to Calgary. Kamloops Blazers. He was traded to Calgary for being part of the Drew Newendike deal.
Yikes.
No, that was a great deal for both of them.
Yeah, I know.
Wayne's got their best player in franchise history.
Yeah.
So
you told me Adam Fox is the best?
No.
I commented that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm honestly, compared to a lot of defensemen, I know how good Adam Fox is. I'm not a over the top Adam Fox fan, and he was obviously one of your greater picks.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if
they shouldn't have picked him, everyone knew he was going to the Rangers.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, they still got in the 3rd round. Didn't they get a 2nd round pick for him? Well, no, Carolina got the 2nd.
Carolina got the 2nd. They flipped him with Hamilton and Furland for what's their faces, Hannafin and
Lindholm and Hannafin.
That trade tree is
get your nerd on, boys.
All the trades that happened this season. I'm very excited to check back on that trade.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
Guys, we got to get out of the East.
That's true. You want to get out of here in like 20 minutes.
Land on the Canucks. That game 1, I only watched 3 minutes of it, and I watched the last 3 minutes. And you know when you turn your TV on and the sound comes first, but the screen is black for a solid 2 seconds, like a 2 to 3 Mississippi. So I turn my TV on and I can hear the place just going bonkers before the screen shows up. I don't know, maybe I have an old TV. I actually don't have an old TV. It's a nice TV. I'm getting a new TV. My buddies Tom and Matthew. Anyways, but my point is, I turn on my TV, black screen, but the audio comes through, and the place is going bonkers, and I'm like, oh, okay, something's really good happening. It's 5-4, and boy, did the Canucks just put it on the line. Something the Leafs need to learn. Is to stand in front of that's for sure. But to stand in front of the goaltender and just make a wall like everybody's doing late in these games to defend these leads. But Aaron, did you watch the whole game from beginning to end?
No, I caught it was 4-2 when I got there. And so it was, I got there basically, and they had scored their 3rd goal. Or they'd scored their 3rd goal in that game probably within a minute or 2.
Let me unpack the box score really quick here. 2 goals were scored in the first by Edmonton, Hyman and Ekholm. Draisaitl got in on both of those for first assists. Then Joshua makes it 2-1. By the way, Joshua's a beast. I think he had 3 points in the game.
He did.
When I say I think he did, he had a goal and 2 assists, right?
Per star.
first star. Then Cece, my man, former Leaf.
Leafs legend.
When it was
Legends. Okay, let's keep rolling. No, yeah, let's keep rolling.
quickly. When I saw it was 4-1 and CC had that goal, and I was like, that's how we're losing game one.
Well,
wow.
CC.
But I was like, you know what? It's just game one.
And Nugent Hopkins picks up his second assist of the game. So at this point, the Stars are shining. Drysdale and Nugent Hopkins, both 2 points on the first 3 goals. And then Zach Hyman again. Dude, that guy, that Coach Chippy guy is hilarious. He's putting out these little... You watch Coach Chippy?
We've established this. Yes, we watch Coach Chippy.
He's just like playing with the mini stick. Just being like backdoor. He's just doing these tiny little backdoor, and they're like going off his shoulder and off his... And then he's just like, this is how Hyman scores all his goals. I didn't see this goal, but Hyman, guy's a beast. If he keeps his shit up, he is going to be the Art Ross winner for sure.
Conn Smythe.
I agree. Ross has already been decided.
Hyman is going.
Sorry. As soon as I stand off my tongue, I was like, yeah, no. Anyways, Hyman right now is in full beast mode. Lindholm makes it a game and then mirrors Zadorov. Man, I love that Zadorov. That was a bomb he dropped from the point as well, too. And then Connor Garland, little down the wing, fakes the 3-quarter clap, gets the goalie going from right to left. He just opens up his pads just enough, slides it through, and man, I absolutely love Connor Garland.
Yeah, Garland. I really loved Garland since his time in Arizona with Pocket. And when the trade happened for OEL, I was like, man, that was a ridiculously high price for the 9th overall pick. You know, OEL, I'm like, maybe he'll work out. I wasn't expecting him to be a stud, but maybe he'll be okay. But Garland was the guy I was really excited for, and it took him a while to get established. But, I mean, he's a guy that, just watching him, you just see the heart that he has. And, I mean, he's really had a great year with the Joshua line, and now Lindholm elevating that line that had Bluger and Suter at points, and they did well. But now with Lindholm, it's like that's their top line.
I just thought of this right now. He's like a horsefly. Do you know what a horsefly is? Is that an Ontario thing? There's big, gigantic flies that are super big, huge wings, but they just come in and just take big bites out of your skin. Are you Googling a horsefly? Yeah. He is. That's awesome. He's like a horsefly. The guy just goes around, and he's not the biggest guy ever, but you know he's there because he's always buzzing, and then he just takes big chomps out of the play, big chomps out of the score sheet. The guy's a gamer, and as far as I'm concerned right now, like, he's probably like everyone's favorite player right now in Vancouver.
It's up there.
There's a lot of guys.
Pedersen, you want to I don't want to be too negative. I, for some reason, always find myself defending Elias Pettersson because all these Canuck fans are really hating on him.
I think he was good last night. I think from what I understood, there was a lot of positive reviews, but they also had the Miller line going up against the McDavid line for the most part, and they had the Lindholm line against Draisaitl. So they were doing the matchups with the home ice advantage, trying to get that out as much as possible. So oftentimes, Petey with Hoglander and McCabe, I thought also had a couple moments I liked. They were getting the minutes against the bottom 6 guys of the Oilers.
So once he was out there in the dire seconds and minutes of the game,
he was too.
Yeah. So that's big confidence boost for him. And Talk's obviously, putting him out there to succeed and do well.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch much of the game there myself, but we had it on.
What are you doing?
I was washing dishes. But my dad was watching the game.
Hold on. You missed the entire game. How much dishes?
I'm watching dishes, and I'm like, I don't feel like. To be fair, as a Flames fan, I don't particularly want either of these teams to win the cup. I don't really like this series.
No interest watching.
No, exactly. But I will say, I will get it on record here. Go Canucks, because 1, screw the Oilers, and 2, Canucks make it to the Western Conference Final. That 4th in the Lindholm trade becomes a 3rd, so extra incentive.
Good reasoning.
No, exactly. And 3, they have Lindholm and Zadorov, so good to see some former Flames do well. And they're scoring. They're good for them. Mm-hmm. But we had the game on the background, and I got a score update, and it was 3-1 Oilers. I'm like, oh, it's over.
It's over.
Whatever. I stopped following him and like playing games or something on the computer, and then my phone just a notification, and I look and it's Canucks storm back with 4 goals and win 5-4, and I'm just like, holy crap, the Oilers blew it. Very happy about that result.
Make sure the dishes are washed before game 2, would you?
Let's be real. I'm probably not gonna watch any of this series if I'm being real, unless there's nothing else.
Watch it, and my wife.
That's okay, Josh. I don't
want to watch either of these teams have.
My wife was like, I think I'm a Canucks fan again. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, here comes 2010 again. It was 2011.
And they were good in 2010, but
10 years, 25 and a half minutes played. The only person in the game who played more was 12 seconds, and that was Bouchard. I got here underlined in my notes. I wanted to talk about Garland did that. He only had 2 apples in the 6-game series against Nashville, so he needed that goal. Like, he really, really did. That's going to put like a wrap on the playoff talk. Is there anything that you guys have to add at all? Any predictions, any bold things? We got a 1-1 hockey game. Like I said, Carolina is heavily out shooting the Rangers right now, and this is a must-win situation. Anything you guys want to talk about at all? We got I set aside about 5 to 7 minutes to talk about this Lotto draft results as well too, and we're gonna make fun of the 20 names put out there by Salt Lake City. So stay with us. We're approaching the hour mark. We want to keep it usually under an hour. But Aaron's giving me a thumbs up. What do you thumbs up?
I'm thumbs upping. I'm like, yeah, I want one more second to quickly get on, and we can probably say about the series.
Nerdy on us.
Well, not necessarily nerdy, but first of all, Josh, thoughts on what do you think is going to happen with the Oilers Canucks? We're probably still thinking Oilers take the series.
He just said he's not gonna he's gonna wash dishes and stuff.
I'm not saying if he's gonna watch it. We're saying predictions.
I'm gonna follow the series. It's the playoffs. I'm just not like if I have better things to do, then I'm going to do them. If I'm just sitting at home and the game is on and I have nothing else going on, I'll probably throw the game on. But I'm not going to be like, oh, I got to get home to watch Oilers Canucks. Me, the Flames fan, wants to see this. But no, I think, I do think that the Oilers probably still have the edge in this series as long as they're not facing Demko. I think if Demko can come back, I think that is a big enough difference maker in the series that will, as long as it's not too late, that the Canucks should then have the advantage. Because, I mean, Seelov has been 4 goals in that game, but I don't know if he was bad or good, but he was good in the Nashville series. Then you got Stuart Skinner on the other end, who is
should be better.
He should be better. I'm not a big Stuart Skinner guy. He has his moments where he's fantastic, and he has his moments where he gives up 4 goals. And were they all in the third period?
Because it was 4-2 going into the third, so they had 5 goals from there, and it was 4 unanswered. It was 4-1, right? So
yes, it was 4-1. Okay, but I mean, Skinner has his moments where he just is terrible, and I think that if Demko can come back, Demko does not have those moments. From what I see, that's gonna do it. But
I'd love to talk about this forever. I'll just quickly say that I originally had the Oilers winning this series. I think now, especially after winning that first game, I have a hard time betting for the Canucks because I don't like. I'm a guy I don't like to lose more than I like to win. I think sometimes. So
same.
I picked the Oilers, but after that first game, just the way that the Canucks have played them, it's not the season series, has nothing to do with that. I just think the way that the Canucks are they have the stars, but the way they've played, even the games that they won, it's been their depth that's stepped up. And so I think that gives them a real shot if they keep playing that way. If they're able to, they're not going to limit McDavid to 0 shots every game.
No.
But and I mean, obviously, if Demko comes back, that would be huge. But I will say, Canucks got a great shot. I'd love to see it go 7. And I mean, anyone's game at 7.
You said his name. I was going to be like, we just went talking about this series without saying Connor McDavid the whole time.
Yeah, because he didn't do anything.
I know he didn't. But if he starts doing things, then terrible news for the Canucks.
What if Draisaitl's hurt though?
Yeah, I know.
Nothing else.
He's like questionable or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that will be huge. But let's get out of there because I'm sure we're going to spend a lot of time talking about this, in podcasts.
They're showing Adam Fox in a Flames jersey right now.
Awesome.
On
Josh
the
is
TV.
fingering the TV.
This is hilarious.
Josh.
Look up at the TV. I'm like, there's the jerk.
Look at that
They
face.
knew that we were doing a podcast right now.
look
Why
at his
else did
face.
they bring Fox?
He has 2 black eyes and...
No, this is, God.
They're going randomly through here. I think that was Forbert.
Now we're
Wait,
getting
yeah.
off. Now we're getting off, and we're
Anyway, stay on track.
can see and no one else can.
Exactly.
I want to get into the lotto draft results. I'm just, you know what? Who cares, honestly?
Very
curious. We'll talk about what it's relevant. I'm just going to name off it. Sharks, Blackhawks, Ducks, Blue Jackets, Canadians, Utah. We'll get there. Senators, Kraken, Flames, Devils, Sabres, Flyers, Wild, Sharks again, Red Wings, Blues. Those were all teams that had a chance to get it. They're obviously not in the playoffs.
I jokingly said after watching through the lottery, when I got home, my parents had it recorded, so they'd already seen, but they rewinded it for me. We watched it, and then sarcastically, I was like, all right, and I'm ready for her to watch it again. Because it looked like nothing had changed. Nothing changed. It was just the Sharks with the first pick in Chicago. And good for the Sharks because they haven't had a first overall pick. And I know that and it's funny because Macklin Celebrini is from that area and his dad has ties to Golden State and whatnot. So, there's definitely a lot of excuses for, Bettman rigged the draft in the Sharks' favor, but the Sharks
needed it. If they did, it's fine. They did it. Yeah. It wasn't the Hawks who won it.
No one's going to the Sharks games anymore, by the way. Like, their attendance is terrible.
Well, they had, what was it there? The earlier in the season when the Canucks pumped them 10-0 there.
And then they lost 10-0 again.
Yeah, and the next,
something like
that. The back-to-back games. But I love the shot of the kid holding the sign. And then my first Canucks game, you see in the bottom left of the score bucket, it's 8-0 Vancouver. It's like, oh, that poor kid.
His first Sharks game.
First Sharks game.
Yeah.
Was then they get pounded 10-0.
All right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Utah hockey team.
I'm prepared for this.
It's not Salt Lake City, right?
They're doing Utah. It's in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, but
they're not calling it the Salt Lake City blank.
Yeah, you brought this up a couple of times. I've heard you say Salt Lake as an option. It's as we're saying, Josh and I are saying it's only going to be Utah unless they pull a complete U-turn and just
I love that.
Ridiculous.
So the Utah U-turn.
You nerd. The Venom, the Ice, the Freeze, Fury, Blizzard, Blast, Mountaineers, Caribou, Frost, and Outlaws. That's the first 10.
Outlaws is good.
Really?
Outlaws is the best one.
A little bit basic.
It's Outlaws. I know.
Yeah, no, it's basic, but out of all of them, it's the best one.
Not that this is necessarily.
Yeah, you know what? You're honestly right.
Yeah,
you're right, but if they come on, they can't be
I kind of like Venom personally.
Venom isn't bad. I don't mind Venom.
Sucks.
I don't mind it.
It's not like
Venom is stupid.
A lot of them are just like I feel rip-offs of the Avalanche, and it's like, okay, we'll find your own shtick.
Ice related. There's a lot of ice related.
It's the Utah Blast. No. It gets better on the second page.
Yeah, I don't mind Fury. It's not the best.
Honestly, there was the team that just left. They were the Kootenay Ice.
Yeah,
I love the Kootenay Ice.
Well, then they were the Winnipeg Ice for a couple of years.
Winnipeg Ice as well too.
But yeah,
Ice, no, like come on, Venom. I mean, I can't believe it. Fury, no Blizzard, Blast. That is stupid.
I just want to bring up with Venom. It's partially because of the purple, so that's kind of why I think that purple would work for them.
They should go purple.
It's not that they're going to be purple.
They should go purple.
They probably
stupid.
They don't have to be They don't have to be mainly purple. It just there should be. There's what other team aside from the LA?
You know what's eased you know what I've eased in? I've eased in on the Kraken. I think the Vegas Knights is awesome. That's because I also went to a game, which in round 2, game 1 of their inaugural season.
Yeah.
Well, they beat San Jose 7-0. Best sports experience of my life. So I have like a weird soft spot. I'm just talking, obviously, new teams in the league. Obviously, the Vegas Knights hit. Obviously, I really like the Seattle Kraken. It's cool. Remember when they pretended like it got leaked? The logo and the team name like 2 days before. They're like, oh, yeah, no, that's not it, everybody.
That seems to happen all the time now.
Later, they're like, yeah, it's actually the Seattle Kraken.
Pulled a big time prank. You all right there?
I gotta get to the next.
Yeah, let's get the next.
Yeah.
Oof.
Mammoth?
No.
People seem to like Mammoth.
No.
See,
Mammoth
something.
in the NLL. It's been done.
Really? Okay, well then, yeah, probably not.
HC.
Hockey Club.
I don't hate that one. I don't like it for a temporary name.
Josh,
For temporary
I
name.
want you to revoke what you just said.
No. For a K.
No,
I
take it
clarified it.
back.
I clarified it.
I'm gonna drop this mic and come over there and
Tyler,
fight you.
1 year, which we already don't like because it's already happening.
Hockey
I
Club.
don't have it in front of me, but supposedly for the next season, they're just going to be. They're not even going to pick. They have
gonna
to
use
use for 20 names.
This bugs me. But this is I'm very
Yeah, these names are for next
team
season.
and not have like the name and everything. Like that should be a prerequisite when you buy a team. You have the color, the jersey, the name. Everything should be, the mascot should already be named.
Yeah, it's
The HC Hockey Club, Josh.
As a temporary, because it's like the football. It's like
I would rather call them the Glaciers or the Squall.
This is Squall.
No. Keep going. Keep going. The names because we're gonna
this
pick
is
them.
the one, man. This is the one, which is awesome.
I know what
The Utah Powder.
that was all.
That is a type of weird, sober Mormon cocaine innuendo. Is that like, come on? The Utah Powder,
Really bad.
the Hive, the Yeti. Well, what's going on about the Yeti?
Yeah, everyone seems to love the Yeti name. Hate it. If they go Yeti, I'm gonna be so upset.
Swarm and Black Diamonds. Black Diamonds, that's stupid. It sounds like they're going to pick one of these, by the way. Like the organization released this to be voted on. They're pretty much saying, everyone help us because we know that a lot of these are stupid. And if we're going to pick a stupid name, we want to blame on everyone else. Like it comes down to
Exactly.
and the Utah Powder is poof. Like what happened? Like,
Exactly.
like what do you mean the Utah Powder?
Yeah, but to be fair, their celebrations would be wild.
Just
That'd be great.
Oh my goodness!
So go ahead.
What's their mascot?
It's Scarface.
Yeah,
It's just Scarface.
Tony Montana.
Yeah.
They're just gonna sign Evgeny Kuznetsov to not an NHL contract. Would you like to be a mascot?
As an ambassador.
I'm not gonna say some of the names have been going out online because there's a lot of people are like attacking the Mormon aspect of Utah, but there's some crazy, ridiculous innuendos and there was some inappropriate names in it.
Yeah,
but one of these 20 names, like I'm not pumped about any of them. I feel like Yeti is like somehow like settled on me a little bit.
No, the outlaw, man. Outlaw.
Ice is just like, just don't do it. Mountaineers is like some type of visual identity. Like the Frost. Like that would be the stupidest name.
Yeah, no.
Outlaws? No.
No, that wasn't like the best one as a hockey team name. It's the best one.
Like what did they go find? Like they get like a bunch of like single A and double A baseball team to like
No,
put these names for?
no. If it was minor league baseball, the names would be way crazy.
Like what? Come up with the craziest one.
Craziest?
No,
the
like
actual.
what if you had to name the team and that'd be crazy? What would it be?
Oh well, I mean, it would be the Salt Lake Soakers. Obviously,
Brought it up.
Obviously.
Keep it PG, man.
No, we are. No, I'm not going into what that is. It's just if anyone happens to know, then they know. Anyone who doesn't know,
Like just snuck it back still, son.
It'd have to be the Utah Soakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Pervert.
Salt Lake Soakers.
Yeah, so anyways, like if you're like, what would it be? I don't know.
So
I feel like these are stupid names. Nothing I like. I can't believe I was like, what's HC? And I was serious. You're like, oh, the hockey club. Stop it.
So, are we making our picks? Do we have our picks for our team? Which one we like? You said Outlaws.
Outlaws all day.
I want to say
It's the best form.
this is me being extremely, extremely very serious. First of all, I had to go to like 8 to 10 people and ask if they knew what squall means. Josh, do you know what squall means?
Yeah, it's another word for a storm on the sea, I believe.
Yeah, it's like
There's
here
no ocean around
on the
Utah.
Landlocked.
If I Google squall, the dictionary, it says here, noun, a sudden violent gust of wind or a localized storm.
Yeah.
So if they go up against the Hurricanes, do they just lose every time? Do they even play the game?
They lose by default.
Like,
I hate these names.
So I like
really
squall
think more I hate
for
the names.
maximum chaos.
I'm gonna pick the one I hate the most, and that's the powder. And I'm gonna say the ones that are just stupid and like cartoonish is like Venom, Blizzard, and Caribou. Like, is there caribous in there? I think there's a lot of caribous actually. I think I've heard that Joe Rogan talk about hunting caribou in Utah and Salt Lake. Swarm, no. Black diamonds?
I think if you drop the S on that black diamond, could work.
Oh.
It's still not good.
I
No.
get it works. Swarm, and this is me on Reddit, by the way, just to clarify where I get and where I do a lot of my reading, when they usually have a lot of links to different spots. But it seemed like a lot of comments were pretty positive towards, there was some positive, and none of these were very consensus and like, oh, these are obviously the best. But like, some were like, yeah, Swarm could work, and Swarm and Black Diamonds was very... Like, I'm not a big fan of it either, but I guess it has to do with like their skiing, their skiers were there. So, you know,
swarming slall or swalls or whatever.
Squall.
The swarming
squall, Utah squall. That's just
what is a yeti? Is it
a
mythical creature?
Yeah, mythical creature there.
I'm not man used for that either. The Kraken? That's kind of cool.
I was gonna say, am I agree with the Kraken though?
Oh, the Kraken's kind of cool.
They literally.
I like it. No, I like the Kraken.
Obviously,
The Kraken works. Kraken's fantastic.
Like Squall. Man.
Can we admit that they did Yeti because Kraken are a thing?
Yes.
Like, that's what.
Yeah.
100%. 100%, but they shouldn't go with it.
No.
I'm not saying I like one because I don't like one. I think that's going to be the beginning of the end of this podcast. So,
I just hope that they are able to surprise us with a team name before the season. Even, like, obviously, even the player that gets drafted, like, they could say, welcome to Utah, you know, Connor Bedard, or, like, obviously not that, but, like, whoever they would draft in that spot. Tej Aginla.
No, he's going to Calgary.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
I hope so.
Well, I don't know if he'll fall that far, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
I hope that they could go through this whole off season. I just hope that there is a U-turn and they come up with a team name and jerseys and colors. It doesn't matter if it's like a week or two to the season. People will forget about it through the summer because it'll just be like, oh, this is what we're going with through the season. But just please, NHL, Ryan Smith, surprise us. Please let Utah, I was going to say Arizona, please let Utah have a team that isn't just Utah or Utah Hockey Club.
The Utah Ryan Smith. That would suck. You know what, though? I'm really glad I almost forgot about that, too. I texted in our group as well, too. I'm like, man, we got to talk about the Utah and their team name. What is this, episode?
This would be 4.
Yeah. Episode 4. Good to be back. We're going to try to bang them off a little bit quicker as well, too. I was sick. not feeling so good. I was out for 11 days in between. Talking about 1s and 11, it's still 1-1, 15 minutes to go in this hockey game, but kind of date this. New York's in Carolina. Carolina's still trying to make a series of it, down 2-0. I think the Canes are going to do it, going to make a series of them. If they don't win tonight, it is all over. Leaf fans, hopefully we said enough to satisfy you some bit. Looks like Sheldon Keefe was the guy that's going to take the first load. I'm okay with that, no problem at all. And Canucks, for you, Aaron, happy to see them have a good start. And you know what, Josh? I'm also, for you, happy to see, Fox is really turning out and going to be a guy that you can look back and just be like, we could have had him. And you also should be cheering for Vancouver as well, too. Because the better they do, the higher draft pick to get.
No, it's not.
Only
by beating Edmonton can they advance the pick. If they win the cup, it's still a third.
Yeah, you're cheering for.
I'm cheering for them to beat Edmonton, and then I will immediately cheer against them no matter what.
Wow,
and that's okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Well, stay true on that. Okay,
that's very easy for me.
Pumping these podcasts are for you. We started an Instagram as well too, Spittin' Chicklets. You can find us on Instagram. We're gonna get the Facebook thing going.
He's plugging other shows.
Guys, go to Spittin' Chicklets and follow our Spittin' Chicklets page.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah, you'll notice there's a lot of NHLers that pop up on there.
Yeah. Nerds with Grit hockey podcast. How about that with Spittin' Chicklets?
I'd like to thank everyone for
this over here.
And I would like to thank everyone who commented on all our Instagram and YouTube and the short on YouTube there about that you did know Rupe Hens. We appreciate your honesty and Tyler Rotling.
1 point. The guy had 1 goal in 7 games.
He's gonna get more.
And there will be more times where it is one of us not mispronouncing Rupe Hens or even knowing who he is. But there will be more moments of us getting absolutely chirped at by other, the other nerds or grits on here, right? So, yeah, it should be fun. Thanks to everyone for listening through all these.
Why, Mike? Lacrosse coach just coached me and texted me. He's like, "You picking up your kids or what?" So I'm out of here. Episode 4. We're gonna do episode here at 5 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Aaron, thanks so much for getting these out as well too on social media. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast as well too.
You got it.
Rock and roll. This is episode 4, Nerds with Grit Hockey Podcast. We will talk to you next time and very soon.